You're practicing too hard over there. Okay. Well, it's going to take... Moving right along, we've got the Pledge of Allegiance that we'd like to have a slide up for, and then we could have someone lead us in the pledge. And Joel, why don't you take the honor?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, President-elect. All right, up next, we have, yes, the people who have been practicing. Come on up. It's time to perform.
We need a couple more minutes.
Yes, sorry. Michael, Sue, Tim, and Dave, and others. We have Sheila here. Yes, all right.
That's all right.
Yes, all they're coming too.
Yeah, I'll say. Oh, yeah.
Well, we wanted to do a song today that celebrated Bob Cowan's presentation on aerial photography. So we're going to sing Leave It on a Jet Plane. Are you leaving? Yeah, and he's leaving tomorrow for Hawaii. All my bags are packed, I'm ready to go. I'm standing here outside the door. I'm ready to wave you up and say goodbye. The dawn is breaking, it's early morn. The taxi's waiting, road is torn. I'm ready and so lonesome.
Continues the ongoing training. We will get you guys knocked into shape by the end of my term, I promise. So Joel, your questions for the day? Or thought for the day?
You're all familiar with where these boats come from. You've seen these folks before, so I'm going to let you guess who they're from. First quote, just because you haven't found your talent yet, doesn't mean you don't have one.
My mother.
Here's another one. There's not a word yet for old friends who have just met, with the possible exception of a Rotary Club meeting. Opportunity just not, let's reach out and grab it. Together we'll have it. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. I don't care what you think of me, unless you think I'm awesome. In which case you're right. Be thankful for the bad things in life, for they open our eyes to the good things you weren't paying attention to before. Never worry about failure. It's going to happen. But that's okay. Go ahead. Take chances. You might just find that what feels like failure isn't failure at all. It's what inspires you to dream even bigger. And finally, life's like a movie. Write your own ending. So, are there any guesses as to where these came from?
The internet.
Haven't heard the right answer yet. With the exception of two of these, they're from Kermit the Frog. And the one at the bottom of this page, who could it possibly be in the Muppets?
Miss Piggy?
Very good. Okay, you got the one right answer.
We are grading on a curve here,
The
folks.
second one is from Gonzo. There's not a word yet for old friends who just met. Thank you very much.
Philosophy of life from the Muppets. Perhaps we should all be more Muppet-like occasionally. All right, our main front line. We have Linda and Ted. Where's Ted? Right here. There's Ted. Very good. He's doing spur publisher and photographer. Wow, double duty. Audiovisuals Dennis right there at the helm. Our greeter was Katarina. Where's Katarina? Right there. And you know who was there with Katarina? Did you notice that Gabriel Wright was there as well? Right there. Big hand. How many people had a good quality greeting? Okay, 85% plus. All right, that's great. All right. Up next, sergeants at arms. Oh my gosh, both are there. All 4 arms of the sergeants. Hey, and it's Trex and Bob. And have you bought your ticket from them? You know, we have a variety of ways to separate you from your money, and that's one of them. It's a fantastic thing that we do here. We're a service club, and we want to make it fun. All right. Our webmaster is Kathy Coyle. Public outreach is Kelly Bauer, so I just in the late assignment too. Thank you, Kelly. Our videographer is Sonia. Are you running the camera right there?
I am.
Right there in front.
Right there.
Very good. Get my good side. Oops, that's not
Oh,
possible.
turn a little sideways.
Introduction of visiting Rotarians. And yes, I know we have at least one visiting Rotarian. So, hey, Glenn, do you want to introduce?
Yes, I would love to introduce Margaret Patterson Palmer. Let's start again. So, hi, Glenn. Would you like to introduce our visiting Rotarian and show that we promised to do it correctly? Yes, that we have a level of competence here. Remember, we are pretending to be competent. Okay, that's enough out of you.
All right.
I am pleased, honored to introduce Margaret Palmer, who is an existing Rotarian. In fact, she is the current president of her club in Bakersfield, and she has absconded away from her duties there. So she has found refuge in the best club in the world, ours, and she is a professional who administers and picks through all the contract language for data centers for a company that I cannot remember the name of since I butchered her last name. I couldn't possibly remember that. And she lives in Livermore with her husband. And so let's welcome Margaret Palmer.
Welcome, Margaret! Oh, Margaret, you are so lucky. We're a Rotary sanctuary city. So you are completely safe here. We won't even report you to your home club unless there's money in it for us. And then, of course, we would have to. We're duty bound at that point. Yes, ex-president. Were you waving in general, trying to get my attention?
Well, I was just mentioning that I think we greeted her incorrectly as a member.
Yeah, remember you're supposed to use her name. So do you want to inform the crowd of how to do it and then lead it one more time?
So when it's a member, we're supposed to not clap. That's for visiting. So by visitors, guests.
Okay.
So we say her name. So
We say hi. And then
hello, Margaret.
yes. Delusions of adequacy we have here. All righty, nicely done. Any other visiting Rotarians? Okay, now how about visitors today? Do we have any visitors? Oh, we got several arms in the sky here.
This one right.
Okay, we have to sign up, stand up. This is Barry Weber, and he's a retired project manager from across the bay. in aerospace, but he also is very active at the Livermore airport, and he was great help when I was building doors. So, and he's taking a look at the club as well.
All right.
Yeah! All right, welcome. And in the back,
President Mark.
President Mark, we have Carson Fialo. He's one of our interns at LARPD for the summer. He's interested in public service, and he's a business major too, double major, and a lacrosse player.
wow! Now Carson, I'm going to pick on you. That last name sounds vaguely familiar. Is there anybody that we might know with that last name as well? Oh my gosh! The previous city manager of Pleasanton. Oh my gosh, we are in the area of royalty here. So welcome, Carson. Okay. Any other visitors here? Okay. Up next, announcements. Oh, we've got a new member talk by Gabriel. You might have saw this coming out there as he was checking off blue badge requirements like crazy. Gabriel, come on up. You've been involved in all sorts of stuff, so tell us a little bit about you.
First thing to learn about me. Other than my oldest son is on track to be 6'5". So there's hope for him. So first things first, I screwed up and did not get my PowerPoint presentation in on time. So bear with me. It's a shame because it's going to be a quiz. And what I'd like to do to let you learn a little more about me is I'll ask you questions and hopefully you get it right. And then Mark has shamelessly convinced me to donate to the club. So I would like to donate $2 for every right answer per person. So pay attention. Best of luck to you. Right answer. We'll see how it works. Thanks, Matt. My name is Gabriel Wright. I'm a financial advisor for Edward Jones. We do work with businesses and individuals on their retirement. So if you know of anybody or yourselves are interested, please reach out. There's my shameless plug. And now on to the quiz. Question number 1, I graduated from this university with a Bachelor's of Science in Metallurgical Engineering and a Master's in Supply Chain Transportation and Logistics. What university? Oh, I know you know about this one, right? It would be very helpful if you had the pictures. It would also show the football team with the giant W on it, University of Washington. So, from Seattle, we love Seattle, quite fond of it. All right, question number 2. I have 2 sons, which is part of the bargain when I had children. How old are they and what sports do they play?
Swimming, 11 and 13.
Sonia is probably close. I have, my oldest son is Casey, he's 13. He's a swimmer, and he is this close, 1 second off in several events, of getting his Junior Olympics time. So, as a swim meet this weekend, we're very, very hopeful. My youngest one, Cowan, is 11, and he does water polo and golf. He hated swimming because of the monotony, and then can't get enough golf and hitting the golf ball over and over and over again. So, let's hope there. And he was in the Junior Olympics last year in water polo, and his team ended up getting 13th in the country. So that's very good. Very proud of him. Unfortunately, he takes after me on the height, so we'll see what happens. Another one where the picture might help you. Question number 3, how long have I been married?
Well, at least 13 years.
13 years. And again, if you saw the picture, you would have an opportunity to measure the before and the current look and see that my wife and my wife is Jacqueline Wright, and we'll be celebrating our 20th anniversary in July. And when I tell her no PowerPoint presentation, she'll be upset because our wedding picture is right there. Question number 4. I enjoy doing these 3 things in my spare time, and they are mostly things that I enjoyed doing prior to children, and now that they are older, I'm starting to do more of them. Number 1 is I love hiking. So I'm starting to do a lot more hiking and mountaineering and get back into that. I enjoy bicycling, and in the bottom right, you would see a picture of me post Bison Bruise last year, so it's not a very flattering picture whatsoever. And I love traveling. My wife and I, for our anniversary, we're going to go to Ireland this year, just the 2 of us for a couple of weeks. So very excited on that. And then question number 5, last one, is what is on my bucket list that I have not yet done? And that kind of goes back into my spare time and things I do. We were talking about it earlier. I really would like to do the Pacific Crest Trail at some point in my life. I think that would be phenomenal. And I do kind of sort of scuba dive still, but would love to kind of go scuba dive at the Great Barrier Reef and convince my children that that is a fantastic sport. So that's what I have. Thank you very much for your time. I'm sure you got all those answers. I'd like to donate $500 shamelessly to the Rotary Foundation.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So thank you very much.
Man, I thought when he said on the bucket list he was going to announce that he did a bequest. So it just shows you sort of you can be wrong when you're so certain about an answer on that. Thank you very much for that on our new member talk. All right. Let's see here. Up next, what happened? Oh, Dawn Sweeney, are you lurking?
Yeah.
You've seen the PowerPoint, haven't you? You know what's coming next.
All right, here we go. So I wanted to make a plug for next week's meeting. It's a special meeting at the winery, and it's the next to last meeting this Rotary fiscal year, and we have a goal for membership to add 10 new members this year, and we're currently at 8 new members.
So that means we're missing.
So that means you need 2 new members. And so this is a really great meeting, $2. And this is a great meeting to bring guests to. It's at the winery. We have a special speaker on AI, an internationally recognized speaker from Lawrence Livermore Labs. It's a topic of general interest. And I know from the experience this last year that the way we get new members is for existing members to bring guests. And these evening meetings have been extremely successful in attracting new members. So let me encourage you to reach out to friends who might be interested, because it's a great, as you know, a great program that we have here. So see you next week.
All right, do remember to bring that new member. We're only too short. We're actually doing relatively well, but members of the lifeblood of the organization. And the wonderful thing is that people here stay in our club a long time. But the downside of that means that eventually they're no longer with us. So we do want new members. That's the #1 way we lose members, is they end our time with us. So that's a pretty impressive. Any club that sort of keeps lifetime members ought to be. All right, the Ready program field trip to the Oakland Zoo. Glenn, you're going to say a couple words.
Just a couple words. So I think that it's never too early to start recruiting future members.
Yes.
And so I've started recruiting at the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade level here.
Nice.
We'll see the Ready program. They don't know this. They think they're being educated and having enrichment experiences, but really we are recruiting them for Rotary. That's all I have to say. We've had a great year at Ready. We've increased the numbers from past years, in part because of the tremendous need for educational help as a result of the pandemic absences that many of these kids experienced. So this only shows 9 of the 13 students that we had this year. The end of year party was Monday. We had 26 students that were active in Rennie this year. I'd like to thank the very dedicated volunteers that work every week, so Debbie and Paul and Dennis and Alan Burnham and Carol every week, and it goes on, and chaperoning and whatnot. And so one last thing I would leave you with is that a number of these students have asked if they can come back as high school students to help mentor the younger students. And we started that this year. We had 3 or 4 of last year's graduates come back, including a Pedrosi Young Scholar, and that has made the difference. That's almost double the number of students that we've been attracting, because now they're getting help from people that are their own age and are speaking their language. So it's been a real privilege. Thank you, Bob Cowan, for all of his efforts and tutelage in my role this year with the program. So thanks, everybody.
Yes. Glenn, and thank you for stepping up to lead Ready. We were in desperate need of somebody to take that on. We had a lot of people willing to help, and you did that. So thank you. All right, next. Support the annual fund. We have never been closer. We're just this far away. Less than $15,000. And in fact, now we're at $14,500 with the, every big hat. So if you're in that middle tier, you gave 100, another 100 would really help us out. If you were at 200, it's not that far to 500. So I know all of you, want to put this top of mind to sort of get there. We are almost there. We're one of the most generous clubs in the entire district, and I don't want to lose those titles here. And I appreciate everybody's hard work on this one. All right, so you see what's going on there, so just read this slide there. And registration is still open for, essentially, Celebrate the Magic of Rotary, our district conference. It's at May 31st. It's a single day. You get in, you get out. It's a wonderful thing. So if you're at all interested, sign up on that. You can still do that. Great speakers, great food. You learn amazing stuff about Rotary. And so again, if you have a morning or most of a day on Saturday that works, please show up. Next, we've got Arroyo Cellars. Please join us at Arroyo Cellars for Wine Wednesday. Ex-President Sheila, do you want to tell us a little bit about Wine Wednesday? It's very refined.
Yes, I know. I was trying to make it sound kind of fancy. Anyway, what we're doing now, instead of having our own little Wine Wednesday, we're going to jump on the existing Wine Wednesdays that the Wine Growers Association have scheduled throughout the summer. So we usually go the second Wednesday of the month, so I'm going to promote those. But of course, you can go to all that you want. But this one will be at Arroyo Cellars. There's the address. This is an opportunity. We'd love for you to bring your significant other and a potential member. And as always, you purchase your wine, and we'll provide some light snacks. And if you've got a little something you want to bring to share, we would love that. So June 11th, Arroyo Cellars, there is their address, and we're looking forward to seeing everyone.
Very good. Wow, wonderful. A little more enthusiastic clapping for the wine there. Yes, all right. Speaking of things where you can have wine, you may see on your table is flyers from the LARPD Foundation. You'll remember we're partners with the foundation and have done all sorts of very interesting things. You'll remember that one of the things for the crab feed was to support the LARPD's foundation support of swim lessons for folks. And because, of course, drowning is still the #1 cause of death if you're under 5 years of age, and the #2 cause of death if you're under 14 years of age. So a big chunk of what the earnings from this event will be to provide essentially to the community fund, and that provides, if you essentially qualify for a free or reduced cost lunch in the city, it allows you to essentially have a credit toward any LARPD activities. So price is no longer a barrier to going to day camp, going even to an overnight camp, getting a swim lesson, doing any of the activities that LARPD does. It's a fantastic program. Literally hundreds of kids participated in the program. 130 took swim lessons, and hopefully will not be one of those statistics. It is Friday night, June 20th. I know you're all thinking, wow, that's nearly the longest day of the year. What am I going to do with all that extra daylight? We've got something. You can come and drink first, and then get your checkbook out second. After some initial drinking, we found that helps, and support this. And we also have, just like the crab feed, a fund a need. So if you say, gosh, I have all the desire to get something interesting but no place to store it, we can help you. For an extra surcharge, we can take your money and not require you to go home with anything. So it's what we call a win-win. It's a wonderful fund a need, in addition to lots of baskets, trips, and other interesting stuff there. So, on the table is information. Second thing is go on the website, LARPD a website. Go to the foundation, click on, and sign up for a ticket. It's going to be a wonderful evening. I will be your auctioneer, and I will pick on you special if you come. So that's another benefit of coming and making yourself known and sitting up front. We'd love to do that. All right, next. Do you know that the rodeo parade is only 3 weeks?
Everybody, put your ears.
Yeah, put your ears. Yeah.
Okay. First, I want to do a shout out to Ted. With Ted and his wife and I, we're one of the many Rotarians at, what is the program? It's Kids Against Hunger? Yeah. Kids Against Hunger. We, in an hour and a half, packaged 16,000 food packets. Wow. Kids in hunger. It's just down the street on Quarry Lane, just inside Pleasant.
You mentioned it wasn't just the 3 of us.
Oh, no. There was over 100. We had brownies. Yeah. We had a whole bunch of Rotarians. And you package these things real quick. They're always looking for volunteers. It's just, you have to pay to volunteer there. But that's okay, we pay to volunteer here. But I want to give Ted and his wife a shout out.
Thank you.
So anyway, the rodeo parade is coming June 14th. On June 11th, when we're having Wine Wednesday at night, we will be at the rodeo grounds having our Rotary meeting. And Sheila tells me we'll probably be down where we were last time under the big tent. But not up above, but down below. But we are moving right along. I still need a little bit of help, but first I want to say, does anyone know anyone who might want to be in the parade? I would love, so I'm looking for people still to be in the parade. The deadline, and it's a very soft deadline, is June 3rd to be in the parade. I still could use more people to help, but I see Debbie Peck, who I shanghaied earlier this week, and where's she? Our greeter. Where's our greeter?
Right there.
There you are. I got her today, and I got you a while ago, because you can tell me you want to help with the parade. So we're doing actually pretty good. I was at the morning meeting yesterday, and we signed up 6 people. Woo! So that was really, really helpful. So I got 6 more people. And by the way, if anyone wants to go to the morning meeting, they're switching to Beebs starting the 3rd. They are not serving breakfast, but you can go there before their meeting at 8:15. They start at 8, but the meeting starts at 8:15, and have breakfast or have breakfast after. But they are switching to Beebs on the 3rd. So everyone is invited to come to the breakfast on June 14th at the Riata. It starts at 7, and we got to be out there about 7:50. And then we're going to go decorate, and we're going to have a great parade. But I sure would like some more people to be in the parade. So if you know someone, and I will just let me know. And one final thing, I could use one person to help with Joel and I on Friday the 30th, around 10 o'clock in the morning. We're going to pass out parade posters and inform people that who live the parade route that the parade is coming. So if someone has Friday around 10 a.m. available, email me and we'll have you help pass out parade posters. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Sir Paul. Great. Our first winner is Chris Carter, and our Grand Marshal is our very own Kelly. right there in front. There she is, Grand Marshaling in advance. Practice your way from the wrist. Remember, it's the whole.
Elbow, wrist.
Yeah, anyway, moving on. Signing up for rodeo lunch, because I can't do that way, because I didn't go through the training. Here is a large jungle of dots. But if you hold your phone up, it may get you where you need to go to sign up for the rodeo lunch. Rodeo lunch is 25 bucks. The club is covering the rest of the cost on that. So for 25 bucks, we do need a head count. And a great way to get a head count is for you to get a ticket, because if you don't have a ticket, you won't get to eat. So remember, the rodeo lunch is the week of the rodeo parade, okay? And so please sign up for that as soon as possible. Helps all of us who are sort of on the front end of it, ordering food and doing all of that stuff. And in addition to that, there's another thing to sign up for, which is the demotion party. That's the very last Wednesday in June. And we'll be at Alden Lane, not at our normal place, not the normal winery out there. So adjust your schedules out there. And friends and spouses and others are welcome at that. As we send the current president off into the sunset and bring Pat, the new president. Everybody excited about the new president?
President Mark,
yes, ma'am.
Just a quick thing. I'm sending around a clipboard. I typed the names out that people have filled out so far. Please check, verify that you're on there, and then if not, please add it. And if you want to go, please add your name. We're just trying to get a head count. Obviously, you're going to pay, but we know kind of ahead time that helps with shopping. All right, thank you.
And then you've got a QR code here. And then, Joel, are you going to send something out in an email, or have you already even done that with these 2 QR codes or links?
I have not.
You have not. But I bet we could, yeah, to help those people who are not QR code competent. It's very straightforward. I mean, you can see Paul back there. He's one of the younger members. He's doing it right now. He's showing you how to do it. Yeah. Anyway, oh, he wanted the other one. Yeah, I have to go back. All right. And then, of course, next week, we have a Rotary Insight Seminar on AI. So Brian's not just any regular fellow. He really knows what he's talking about. If you have any interest in this, he's a great speaker. It'll be very interesting. And so this will be at the winery next week. And of course, this week we have our very own Bob Cowan, who is going to walk us through. We have 700 pictures. It runs about 6 hours. And with that, Ted is going to introduce our very own Bob Cowan. Here we go. We're off.
Thank you. Well, let's see. He doesn't need much introduction, but I'll do a short one. Our program today is fellow member Bob Cowan, showing us some of the history of Livermore by aerial photography taken by John Shirley beginning in the 1960s and aided by Bob in the 1980s and later. It will be a fast-moving presentation of aerial magic. I guess someone was standing on the edge of the plane taking pictures. That was my understanding, so we'll find out who that was. So put your tray tables up. Put your tray tables in the up and lock position and fasten your seatbelts. So here he is.
This is what I'm going to start from, what Livermore looked like in the 1940s. And these pictures I'm going to show you were taken, let's see, let me hold this. These pictures were taken by John Shirley, our past member, and he started taking them in the 1960s, and about the 1980s, he wasn't flying anymore, so I flew him around and he took pictures. Actually, his son took most of the pictures. John said, shoot there, shoot there. So Steve made the slides into digital photos. And somewhere around 2015, he gave me the set of the digital photos. That's the good news. The bad news, there were no date on the digital photos, and there was no, what the heck is this on the digital photos? So putting this presentation together, I've had to try and figure out when it was taken and what it was taken of. And I'm going to ask her help in figuring that out. And I want to give a shout out to Sonia, who had enough courage to go up with me last week and take aerial photos from a low-wing plane, which you have to kind of go over at 90 degrees, and she did really well. She only got sick once, so. Okay, and I've got, as I said, there's a lot of photos to look at. I might go through them pretty quickly. Okay, so this is Livermore in the 1940s. What I wanted to point out to you is up there, that's Naval Air Station Livermore. And that air station closed in right around 1946 or 1947. It was abandoned. So this was before that, so that's probably 1944. You can see old Highway 50. You can see Portola. Did you guys know there was an old airport in Livermore? Right here, that's the old Livermore Airport, I'll call it on this slide. There's Rincon Avenue. The two railroads went through town, which pretty much gave birth to the town and defined the town. There's College Avenue out at the left, East Avenue going out toward the air station, and Livermore Avenue going out to wherever it went out to in the 1940s. So, this is what, and I purloined this from Google Earth because to get the same view as the previous photo to show you what it looks like now, I'd had to go up to where air traffic control isn't so friendly. But you can see how Livermore has changed. There's Naval Air Station Livermore, which we now call Lawrence Livermore National Lab. There's Highway 580. Here's the new airport down here. The old airport is right in here, which is now a bunch of houses. And you can see First Street, Stanley Boulevard. But it's just amazing how in 1940 to 1925, what's that? 85 years or so, or not even that much. I was born in 43, so it's not quite 85 years, so how much it's grown. So there's a picture of Naval Air Station Livermore, and this was taken before probably 1945. These are the runways going this way, this way, this way, this way, that way, and that way. A lot of runways. And there's nothing around it. But look at this tremendous infrastructure. I think this was built in about a year. We could really do things during World War II. And there's Brushy Peak up there, because that's one of my references when I'm trying to figure out what the heck John was taking a picture of back in the old days. It was a real airport. I mean, these are real World War II airplanes. A collector would pay millions of dollars, at least over $1 million to have any one of these airplanes. There's very few of them left. When I go to Oshkosh in Wisconsin at the EAA convention every year, you see one or two of these types of planes, because that's about it. So, and you can see them lining up to take off, and it was a very busy place training lots of aviators. Just wanted to quickly show you that it wasn't just Livermore as an airport. All of these dots around here were also airports. And they all were active for training, not that they housed planes there. Planes would go there. Actually, some of the fields they did house. One of them is interesting. In the government maps, it's called Mays Field. And this one, May School Road. And I think the government screwed up in naming the airport. So who knew there were that many airports? And this whole subject is probably worth another talk. So, now, this is pre-1965, I'm guessing, because this is the old airport, and I know it closed in '65. That's Maryland Avenue School. There's Highway 50 still out there. There's Rincon Avenue. And it's just kind of, who would have thought there was an airport right in the heart of Livermore? And Maryland Avenue School, I mean, it is brand new there. So here's a shot John took. Still, there's the old airport, and there's the new airport under construction. Nothing but fields around. It's really hard to believe when you look at these photos that in 80 years, we've populated this valley like we have. Anybody remember this place?
Yeah.
You're right there, yeah.
We burned it to the ground.
Yeah, so they were retarring the roof, and one of the roofers spilled the tarring gadget, which had a pot underneath it to keep it hot, caught the roofing tar on fire and burned the place down. And I liked it because when you went up the steps, there was an old, what was called the corncob engine, the engine that used to be on that powered the Constellations, the 4-engine Constellation airliners. And that's what it was replaced with from the air. That's the beach where I guess now the morning club's going to meet, and also the golf shop and all the golfing paraphernalia. Here's what downtown looked about 1970. This is my guess of when this was taken. There's the Presbyterian Church, and there's the old B of A building, and that's kind of I can usually figure out where I am if I can see the B of A building in the slides. And nothing much going on up here except old buildings. Is Railroad Avenue there? I guess Railroad Avenue is there. Yeah, it comes around. And the bridge has been built. Mark, maybe you can help me afterwards to try and put real numbers on these dates.
Number 75.
So here's, this is actually an enlargement of what I just showed. I just wanted to show you, this is where the Lucky Shopping Center will be before it's not the Lucky Shopping Center anymore. There's another view of downtown in that same time period showing the Masonic Building and First Street. And I don't know if you remember, there were, I don't want to call them tacky buildings, but I was afraid to walk down this street during that time. Okay, here is another view of First Street. There's again the Bank of America building, and now there is a Lucky Shopping Center. Anybody remember the Lucky Shopping Center? Yes. Okay, now we're making room for the theaters. So all of that kind of tacky looking buildings were along there are gone, and we've just got dirt. We do have a brand new parking garage, and we still have a Lucky Shopping Center. And there it is, the theater district in Livermore. Should we call that the East End? What do they call it in London where the theater district is? But anyway, there's the, the theaters. Gosh, this is a gorgeous shot. John did a tremendous job. Shows the theaters and the Jiffy Lube. Remember the Jiffy Lube? Yeah. So again, there's the Lucky Shopping, the Lucky Shopping Center is still there, all the brand new buildings, and the Jiffy Lube is still there. But the downtown is really looking really nice now. And let's see, is that the flagpole right there with a flag on it? Okay, so here's one last shot of this area. And the Lucky Shopping Center is gone and is now dedicated to petition drives. So. And there's, of course, the railroad going through town, First Street, and nothing. Okay, any guesses on what this is?
Library.
Okay, Mark, you don't count. Anybody else?
Library.
It's the old rodeo ground.
Okay, so I heard the library, and that's the old library. That's the barn. That's police. Is that the old police?
That's the one-story police building before the second story has been
Okay,
It operated for 6 years in that configuration.
Okay. Does anybody know what this is?
Where is it?
It's not Emma Fields. I actually blew this up for that was a sizzler back then. Yeah. Who knew?
But next door was always the
And there's actually people at the shopping center.
We used to shop there all the time.
And there's what it looks like sometime later. There's the barn, and it looks like the barn's been re-roofed. It doesn't have a rusty top anymore. The old library is still there, with City Hall and the new library and the second story of the police building. And now Eagle Villas, it looks a lot better now from the air. There's still people going to that shopping center. Okay, now here is Sheila's work. This is Google Earth's work. And there's maybe I misnamed the building, but I know there's the John Shirley Council Chambers inside that building, right?
That's the Civic Center meeting halls.
Yeah, so that was supposed to be looking into a window with that arrow. And look at that. Everybody knew about this huge solar array behind the library. I mean, if you go into the library and actually go to the back, you can see it. And the barn still has a good roof, and everything's looks really nice now, currently. Any guesses? You're sitting right here.
You're in that building?
Yeah, you're in that building. So, Mark, I don't know what date that is either. I didn't even
2003 or so?
2003?
The building was done in 2005?
Yeah, because it's the 20th anniversary year, right? You know. And that's what it looks like in 2015. So, you know, just absolutely gorgeous in the air. John did a tremendous job on this picture. So beautiful swimming pools, tennis courts, parking, grass. What more could you want? Okay, between the tracks. Again, I'm not sure the date here. If Alan were here, I'm sure he could help pin us down. There's the old Safeway building. There's Stanley coming in, turning into First Street. There's tracks. There's tracks. There's the shopping center.
Is that Alpha Beta? Oh, Alpha Beta?
That's the old Alpha. Okay, I don't know Alpha Beta. Now that's where there was an Italian restaurant, or I'm sorry, a Mexican restaurant in there, and down here is O'Reilly's Auto. Now.
That was a pizza place.
So I've got an update on that. So this is later. You can see the old Safeway is still there. There's the hospital. This brickyard is right on top of what was the brickyard. There's that shopping center we're just talking about maybe being Alpha Beta. There's the new Safeway. And there's not much of a street. And it looks like busy ripping up one of these tracks. I'm not sure which. That's why I wish Alan were here to tell me.
The one behind us.
Early 70s. This is the one that's been ripped up?
Yes.
Okay. And this is now Railroad Avenue, right?
Yes.
And of course it's not Railroad Avenue there.
It was Lady Square. That was it.
Okay, so
The shopping center had the Thrifties and the TG&Y.
you're right. Yeah.
Sold the nickel ice cream.
So again, here's again what I'm calling between the tracks. You can see the old Safeway is still there. And most importantly, McDonald's is there now. And Railroad Avenue is also there now. It's there now. And the railroad, only one railroad is going through now. Okay, and this is what was built on what I call the Brickyard Shopping Center, shown Lance's Place. Anybody remember what these were?
What's it?
Sizzler.
This one? Well, this was Burger King, and I think this was a Sizzler. It must have moved from that previous photo. Okay, we're going out the east side of town. So here's First Street, and John took this, I think, just as the overpass was completed, soon afterwards. You can see where JR's place is. Junction School really shows up well. You can see the infill in that slight hill here has started, but nothing here. And hardly anything out on that side of the freeway.
That's 8411.
And here's further out. Here's there's Highway 50. There's no Target. There's nothing. No automobile places. Looks like starting to infill some houses. There's Trevano Road. Was this Excel?
Yes.
Okay.
Toast Manufacturing.
There's Marty Bob's first. Yeah, Intel was in there too.
Okay.